Sometimes a game just hits differently. A trailer drops and suddenly everything about it pulls you in. The world, the tone, the music, the sheer just unshakable weirdness of it all. Death Stranding 2 on the beach is exactly that. From the moment this new 10-minute South by Southwest trailer rolled out, it became clear this isn't just another glimpse at Kojima's latest, it is a statement. A showcase of staggering scale, unsettling beauty, and an unmistakable confidence in its vision. Now, I was already excited. I loved the first game, but this has me fully locked in. And best of all, we finally have a release date, June 26th, 2025. Now, there's a lot to break down today here, so let's dive in because Death Stranding 2 isn't just shaping up to be special, it's shaping up to be something else entirely. But before we do get to that, very quickly, do me a favour, subscribe if you haven't already, it helps out the channel a huge amount. Visually, Death Stranding 2 is nothing short of breathtaking, but beyond the sheer spectacle, there's something else here, confidence. Kojima Productions released a set of screenshots alongside the trailer, and every single one of those was captured on a base PlayStation 5. No PS5 Pro enhancements, no high-end PC rendering, just raw, in-engine footage presented as is. It feels almost like a challenge, an invitation to scrutinize every frame, to compare those screenshots against the trailer and see if you can spot the difference. The result for me personally, there is no noticeable difference, no artificial sharpening, no deceptive post-processing, no cinematic flourishes that won't hold up in gameplay, just pristine world building, the kind that doesn't need embellishments. Now, much of that no doubt comes down to the Decima engine, the same powerhouse that fueled the original Death Stranding, as well as titles such as Horizon Zero Dawn. But even with that familiar foundation, what we're seeing here pushes well beyond expectation. Lighting, scale, detail, everything has evolved. The world feels denser, the environment's more intricate, the sense of scale, honestly, more oppressive. If I had to guess, if there's going to be any major distinction between PS5 and PS5 Pro, it will likely come down to frame rate. But the core experience, this is a game built with every PS5 owner in mind, and that is a great thing to see. Now, before we even break down the trailer, then it's worth acknowledging that Death Stranding 2, it wouldn't be a Hideo Kojima game without a cast that feels like a carefully created ensemble of actors, artists, and industry icons, and once again, he delivers. Norman Reedus returns as Sam Porter Bridges, joined by familiar faces like Lea Seydoux and Troy Baker, while newcomers like Ellie Fanning and Deborah Wilson add new energy to the mix. It's just the kind of genre-blurring, expectation-defying lineup that only Kojima could assemble, a blend of Hollywood, gaming, and avant-garde talent, each bringing something unique to the project. And that's just a small sample. There's plenty more names I haven't mentioned today. But now the trailer, and it wastes no time throwing us immediately into something unsettling. Now it opens with a new character, Neil, played by Luca Marinelli, locked in an interrogation. The charge, smuggling brain-dead pregnant women across the Mexican border. It's cryptic, disturbing, and quintessentially Kojima. It's a scene loaded with implications, yet deliberately withholding anything concrete. The exchange is intense, but before we can even begin to process it, of course, the trailer shifts gears. For the next 8 minutes, Death Stranding 2 unfolds in just pure dream logic, scenes bleeding into one another with no clear through line. One moment we're watching characters exchange cryptic dialogue, the next we're looking at enormous otherworldly structures or decayed ruins, maybe grotesque shifting forms that defy immediate explanation. Just welcome to the world of Death Stranding. It was always eerie, but I will say this, now it kind of feels almost truly chaotic. But then there was the moment that set the internet ablaze. Neil reappears, no longer in custody, but now fully geared up in tactical military equipment. And then he ties on a bandana. That was all it took. The Metal Gear comparisons exploded. Now look, let's be clear here. This isn't Snake, this isn't Metal Gear, but Kojima has always played with self-referential echoes, weaving familiar imagery across his work, and Neil, he is undeniably channeling that energy, the posture, the presence, the way the moment is framed. It is impossible not to see the resemblance. We still, however, don't know Neil's full role, but his connection to Cliff's skeleton troops from the original game, it suggests something deeper, something tied to the past. Just like Mads Mikkelsen's character in Death Stranding, Neil might not exist in the present the way we assume, and that's the thing about Kojima. He never introduces characters without intent. He knew what he was doing when he opened and closed this trailer with Neil, and that really leads us to the big question: how does it all connect? You know, we won't have an answer for a while, but if this trailer has done anything, it cemented Neil as one of the most intriguing new figures in Kojima's latest adventure. Now, regarding the rest of the trailer, one of the most striking elements of Death Stranding was its isolation. The landscape itself was the enemy. Every journey was a battle against the terrain, every step carefully considered. The challenge came not from firefights or relentless foes, but from the sheer act of moving forward. But in Death Stranding 2, that balance seems to have shifted. This world feels hostile in a way the first game didn't. There's an undeniable militaristic tone to this trailer, a sense that Sam is no longer just a courier navigating an indifferent wasteland. He is a man caught in something much bigger, something much more dangerous. We see him armed, something that in the original game felt like a last resort rather than a fireball playstyle. In one shot, he's wielding an assault rifle, engaging enemies in a way that feels far more aggressive than before. So yeah, is combat going to play a larger role this time? Could infiltration be a bigger focus? The footage suggests a different kind of struggle, one that isn't just about surviving the world, but fighting back against it. And then, of course, the creatures. Massive towering enemies, grotesque organic growths, and those familiar otherworldly entities lurking just out of reach. Everything about this world feels bigger, stranger, and more dangerous. It's as if the barriers between realities have thinned even further, exposing Sam to forces beyond comprehension. Yet for all of the chaos, the beauty definitely remains. The frozen mountains, the sprawling vistas, every frame of this trailer looks like a painting in motion, built with an obsessive attention to detail, and that sense of artistry extends beyond the visuals. Yet Kojima's always had an impeccable ear for music, and once again, he's delivering. The trailer introduces a haunting track by Woodkid, a song that feels like it was written for this exact moment, which, tell you the truth, I'm sure it was. But like, it captures the isolation, the underlying dread, the slow march towards something inevitable. The song is now officially on Spotify, but if you haven't listened to it yet in full, do it. Preferably with the trailer, because together they meld perfectly. And yeah, this only reinforces what we already know. Music is going to be a massive part of this experience once again. The original game understood how to use music cinematically, how to create space, how to let a moment breathe. That first time the music swelled as the camera pulled back in the introduction of that original release, the world just stretching out before you, it stuck with me, and I'm hoping I find many more moments just like it in Death Stranding 2, because my initial impression is they're basically just out to push things even further. Now, alongside the trailer then, finally, we also got details on the game's various editions. Pre-orders go live on March 17th, and if you're looking to go all in, the Collector's Edition will set you back $230. For that price, you'll be getting a 15-inch statue, a 3-inch Dollman figurine, art cards, a letter from Hideo Kojima, and in-game bonus content. Then there's the Digital Deluxe Edition, priced just $80, which includes early unlocks for weapons and gear, something I wouldn't normally care about, but it ties here into a bigger issue. Paid early access is back. If you pick up either the Digital Deluxe or Collector's Edition, you'll get 2 days early access, meaning you can start playing on June 24th instead of June 26th. And in a game like Death Stranding 2, where story is everything, that means spoilers will be out before the standard edition even drops. The base version of the game, for comparison, is $70, but at this point it almost feels like paying just to avoid starting late. And for collectors then, there's one more catch I want to touch on. Despite its $230 price tag, the Collector's Edition doesn't even include a physical copy of the game, just a digital download. Now look, for a package that expensive, I think personally that is a tough pill to swallow. But look, overall, early access complaints aside, this is shaping up to be something truly special. Visually, it looks stunning, the acting looks phenomenal, and there's a cast that's stacked with talent. The world building then feels more confident than ever, diving deeper into Kojima's surreal vision, and more than anything, I think this trailer just reaffirms just how bold his storytelling has become. It is easily one of the most exciting games of 2025, and yeah, look, the first Death Stranding, it was divisive, but it was unlike anything else. A game that redefined what an open world experience could be. Death Stranding 2 looks like it's doubling down on everything that made the original special, while introducing new layers of depth, mystery, and tension. Now, of course, there are still so many unanswered questions, but that is part of the magic. This trailer doesn't show us all that much, even though it's 10 minutes long. It just makes us want to know more. And one thing is for sure, I will be there day one. But now I want to hear from all of you. What did you think of the new Death Stranding 2 trailer? Does it have you hyped, or are you still a little unsure? Also, what are your thoughts on this whole early access situation? Let's talk about it in the comments. And look, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a favor and subscribe. Helps out the channel a huge amount. And I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers all.